Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Trekyards. I am Captain Foley.
I am Chronicons. Welcome back, guys.
And today we're talking about a few good things, or all good things.
And it might be the end of our game today, our filming.
Oh.
But will be the visitor? I'm not quite sure. Huh.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. But yeah, today we're talking about, Prodigy, Season 1, Episode 10, A Moral Star, Part 2. Ooh.
So you're from an alternate reality.
Yes, I'm from the Trekyards reality.
Yes. This is back, baby. The official alternate future Combadge, used 3 times in the Star Treks of the past. 4 times, actually. Timeless as well. Yes, that was written previously. So it appeared at the end of the last almost post-credit sequence of the last episode. To everyone's surprise, although to be fair, it was featured heavily in the moment, an earlier episode, when they looked at the holodeck and they said, show us stuff, and they show all the Combadge. And this one featured a lot, actually, more than the average ones, it felt like. So there we go, a tie instantly. We joked as X, Y, and Z, but no. And today we're going to look at what this means, what this could mean, and if we think it's different, changed, and or evolution, because this is a little bit of a tricky one, Stuart. Obviously, here it is in the show. I mean, obviously, go. What was your first reaction to seeing this Combadge specifically return? What was conjured in?
I loved it because, honestly, it's a really great design. And it's kind of like the go-to for alternate future or just future. It's like somebody in Starfleet in a lot of realities has the same idea. So that's good. It was good to see. It kind of threw me for a bit because I'm like, okay, so is this this got me thinking, is this the actual timeline? Is this a different one? What's going on right now? So that was probably deliberate. That was probably intentional on their part. And good on them for doing it. And I'm glad that it wasn't the Prodigy's Combadge, because I don't like that one. So there you go. Those are all my thoughts.
Yes, it works better to keep it as a specialised piece. No, for me, I was super excited because we already know there's been time travel. We know a Chakotay from the future, or at least a Chakotay from some time went into the past, etc. So there was already time travel. And so having him come from another future is really exciting because Endgame happened. All these other futures, I mean, that's the whole point of all these episodes. They all introduce a go back in time and stop the past from happening future. And so, while that normally is an entire 1 episode and done storyline, give or take, or 1 story, I should say, have it be a nice open-ended story of these people from an alternate timeline. They've come back, X, Y, and Z, they're trying to fix timeline. Is the timeline already broken? Are they just there to undo the damage? It's a really interesting proposal if we assume they're never going to get back, or whatever. So it's a fun thing by itself, and that's only one idea because it might just be the Combadge. We don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute. So the next picture though is how it's been used in the past. You can see 4 episodes, 4 appearances. Boy, the consistency in which they threw it in between 3 different shows, quite impressive.
Well, it was just like, we need a future Combadge. We got this prop here. Yeah, let's use that one. It looks good.
Yep.
but still, I mean, they also had the future imperfect one, and four episodes at least. I don't think any more than that.
Well, if you include Endgame as being 2 and All Good Things being 2, it's being 7. But yeah, 4 stories.
I don't though. Mm-hmm. And yeah, then when we saw it in Kobayashi, the episode Kobayashi, I was kind of like, oh, that's weird. But now it's kind of explained a little bit because of what's going on. So,
and obviously, it is worth noting that all of these realities got undone, except the Endgame one, where obviously the Voyager was left with the blade of armor, transphase torpedoes, I'm sure other little nifty things. No shuttle, but they did have scans of this badge. I doubt Joan would leave a badge, because that's, least you can do is take it with you. But they have scans, and scans are pretty useful. You can do a lot with the scans, and they beamed her as well. So they have at least the ability to vaguely recreate. It's still 15 years in the future, so it's still something that's more advanced than the current day, but you can make your own versions. They know what the future Combadge looks like, as well as Seven and Janeway know what the mega future Combadge looks like, Relativity. But I always love this Combadge, and even to see it for that one scene in Timeless was a lovely note, because it just tells you... I don't know why they didn't go Geordie with the future uniform. It was kind of pulls a little bit of a spanner in that works of whatever.
I was going to say, this Combadge looks amazing on black. Much more so than on the red. It really pops on black.
Yeah.
It looks really good on Geordie on that uniform, so...
Yeah, it does. And obviously LeVar Burton was directed the episode, which is why they had it in a cameo, which is phenomenal. It's like you have one of the biggest stars of the show, bring him in randomly. Fantastic. So very, very consistent. The next picture, though, let's compare them directly. So both Janeways, both Admirals, both very similar uniforms. Go check out our uniform review, and we'll see about that later. But the badge, I mean, it looks pretty damn faithful to me, even so much as having... Well, no, see, no, it is different, because the other Combadge is symmetrical top, whereas this one of the sides is a higher top.
It's like the one side was just slid down a little bit.
Yeah, it was.
And it looks like the delta's gold and not silver as well on the Prodigy one.
Oh, I know.
Hard to tell with lighting, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's reflection, because boy, if it's both gold, that would look a bit naff. I mean, the Picard one looks bad enough with, silver and black. I mean, that looks bad enough with its lack of pop, but to go all gold, like, that's the whole point of the separation of colours. That would be I'm really hoping it's lighting. We really can't tell yet. But yeah, so it is so okay. So now we do know it's a different Combadge in the abstract if they've moved a few pieces. Now, how do you feel now about it?
It means they didn't just pull one off the shelf. They actually did a little slight redesign and tweak. Which, again, says it's not one of those timelines because it's different. So it's either the prime timeline as it's supposed to be or something else.
If they were to sell this as the custom Prodigy All Good Things variant, and it's like 7% different. You know what I mean? I mean, collectors will buy it, sure, but it's not exactly remarkably different. Is that clever, though? It kind of doesn't stand out while it does stand out. Although, and it's not even as if they mimicked the back piece of this one. Because if they did that, but had some remnants of this, and you could see it kind of evolving into this by removing them, but it's still mostly this.
But there's a clear evolution between both of these and the Picard one. They just took this one and just shaved the tops off. Of
next picture, Stuart. We've got a comparison. Assuming this is a prime timeline badge, which it may or may not be. Now it's a different badge, so obviously there's slightly different. Because also the slit is much thinner, and it's on the exact line of the uniform. The things have been shifted a little bit, and the hole has been massively reduced, which does more match the Picard version, just it's still in the middle rather than off-side.
Seems like they're pushing towards the Picard look, which is fine. I like them both.
But doesn't that mean it's going to lose an identity, because the one is so distinct in this version, and if it's just kind of, like the fact we didn't notice it's different. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Apart from it's gold, maybe.
I think it's a good thing in a way, because it's such a subtle little change that everybody's been harping on about. This is the All Good Things badge. Well, guess what? Trekyards proved no, it's not. You know why? Because we looked at it. God damn it.
God damn it.
Slightly different. No, I think the minor little change is good.
Now I can see it. I'm really missing that inner space though. It all feels more like not a brick by any means, but it all feels like almost like a delta with just stuff behind it, because it being so close together. Whereas the other one has enough distinction to be split, not split, etc. But the next picture though is the theoretical timeline. Then, if we assume this is now the prime timeline, okay, let's say for a second this is now the official 2384 Combadge. Well, that would be
weird.
The evolutionary line. And again, we don't know when Lower Decks came in or when First Contact goes out, but these are the dates we have, at least that we know confirmed.
The one on Prodigy is different. Could be from the future. Could just be a specialist thing. Janeway, we always also talked about when we did our uniform discussion. Could be more of a specialist type of deal. For multiple reasons. But
you can't just keep throwing out specialist Combadges to everybody.
No, I know that.
It devalues the uniformity of a badge of being Starfleet. Yeah, I mean, the more you throw out, the less impactful it gets and the more wasteful it feels.
So it doesn't work here. So it does say to me, for multiple reasons, that it feels like an alternate timeline, alternate reality of some sort. So
double alternate. And in fact, perhaps then this is because we know this one came about later, when Admiral Janeway went grey hair in that timeline. So maybe because you only slight hair, maybe this is the second version from the classic version. So went from this into the gold, and then ends up splitting apart into this later. Doesn't really make sense to me, but who knows? But as you said, let's pull in the Prodigy badge, which is from the future in some way. It's obviously much closer to the Lower Decks one, but also. But if it is at the same time, they also coexisted with these other three. So if these three are canon, Lower Decks, Prodigy, and Prodigy Janeway, then these three badges all exist within a couple of years of each other. But then it all resets back to Voyager.
See, the thing with that with the Prodigy Delta It looks like the Discovery one, as far as the shape on the bottom of the Delta and the metal ones that I have, just the curviness of it, just, which is weird.
Yeah, it doesn't really speak prime timeline. And you know, well, hey, maybe that we said before they are Kelvin timeline people. It fits a lot more with the art design, the aesthetic, and the tech level. Maybe this is that. Maybe the Kelvin timeline went into a solid gold because in that if they only started with, maybe they had all the same badges, but they were all one color. They never went two tone because the original TOS badges were only one tone, and so we've got the All Good Things variant, all one tone. That would fit. What is a TNG All Good Things version because it's younger in the timeline because it's Kelvin, that would fit better. But now you've seen all this, how much do you wish Janeway had these Combadges now?
Yeah, it would have been nice, I guess.
Now I'm looking at the timeline, now I'm like, no, they should have stuck with these, would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, unless it's the alternate reality, like we said, that obviously also really fits, and that's
maybe they're like indicating, hey guys, pay attention. See who notices what's going on. Here's some hints.
I mean, it's the alternate reality Combadge. That's what you do if you're telling us they're from the future. So that does make, that's the only really logical answer there. And we like alternate timelines. Alternate timelines are fun. So trying to fit it into our timeline doesn't really connect. But if we see other scenes of them, basically, there's 3 Janeways now. There's Holo Janeway with a Prodigy badge, there's a alternate universe future Janeway with the alternate universe future badge, and there's a present day Janeway with the Admiral's normal badge. Basically, we had a Janeway solo episode where she's playing 3 different versions of herself, all at slightly different ages. And the last picture, though, is just to remind everybody that when we did our uniform review, it kind of turned out that actually, maybe, possibly, that the uniform is inspired from the All Good Things directly, because if you just colour the All Good Things top braid line, it's pretty damn similar.
And yeah, absolutely.
And this is almost indistinguishable. I mean, lots of fans wouldn't say there's any difference here. Those are less, oh, she's just that,
Go watch our uniform one, though, where we have them side by side. There are some subtle little differences between the All Good Things one and the Prodigy one. And one of them could be the color. I don't know if the Delta's gold or silver, but those look cool. But guys, let us know your thoughts on that. What do you think about this look at the badge? Do your own research, see what you guys can find out. Comment down below. Let us know what you think. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of our lives where we talk about this kind of stuff. So join us, please.
And if you want to support what we do directly, which is super important as well, Patreon, PayPal, trekyards@hotmail.com, joining the channel via YouTube, or super chatting in the lives are all the best ways. They all help, and if you need one of them, fantastic. If you need more than one, even more fantastic, because we can't go on without you guys' support. Even if it's literally $5 a month, put it in and let it be. And you won't even notice, sort of thing. All mounts up, all helps. Thanks in advance. We look forward to seeing you again.
That's right. So until next time, guys. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Combs. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.